Question 8. Okay, I've got the sector of a circle, OAB, and O is the centre of the circle, and that's an angle of x at the top there. And this sector is curved around so that OA meets OB, and it forms the curved surface of a cone. There you go. Now I'm told the height of the cone, and I'm also told the volume of the cone. Work out the value of x. Well, let's start out by using that fact we've been given about the volume of the cone. Now, the volume of the cone is 1600 cubic centimetres, and the formula for the volume of a cone is a third pi r squared h, and I know that h is 25. So that means that I have this equation to solve for r. So I'm going to do 1600 times by 3 equals, divide by 25 equals, and so I get 192, and I'll divide by pi, and that is r squared. So r is the square root of 192 over pi. Right, so that means that I know that length there, which means that I can find the length from O to A by using Pythagoras. Let's call that y for a moment. Okay, right, so y squared is going to be r squared, which is 192 over pi, square rooted, squared, plus 25 squared. So all I have to do on my calculator is 192 divided by pi equals, add on 25 squared equals, and square root my answer. And that tells me that y is 26.1938, ... So that is the length from O to A, which is also the length from O to A and O to B on this diagram up the top. That's interesting, because now I can find an expression for this curved part of the circumference there, and also I know that that length from A to B is the same as this length from A to B. All on this bottom diagram here, it's the same as the circumference of that circle. So let's start with the circumference of that circle. C equals pi d. So the circumference is going to be pi times twice r, isn't it? So pi times 2 times the square root of 192 over pi. Well, I could obviously put a number on that if I wanted to. Let's do that, shall we? So it's going to be 192 divided by pi equals square root answer equals times by 2 equals times by pi equals 49.11968, and so on. And I know, therefore, using this diagram here, that that curved blue part of the circumference also has a length of 49.11968, and so on. And I know that equals x 360ths of pi times the diameter, where the diameter is twice that 26, isn't it? Pi times 2 times 26.1938. So I suspect that I've ended up with a formula here, an equation here I can solve for x. So I've got the 49.11968 on my calculator already, so times that by 360, divide it by 2, and divide it by 26.1938. Okay, and divide it by pi. Gives me x equals 107.443, and so on. I'm asked for the answer. Find x. Give your answer correct to the nearest whole number. 107 centimetres is my answer for x. And that's question 8 done.